Excuse me. Good morning. My name is LeeAnne Stout, and hopefully you're joining me today to review categories that in construction for interior finish, such as drywall and floors and ceilings and windows and doors and such. Um, I'm again LeeAnne from CIS. I'm here to just give you a 20-minute quick review of our service, basically to see if you want to do a one-on-one more specialized demo with me for your company. But it's just to give you kind of a taste. If you've ever wondered what the local project lead service is about, that's kind of what we're going to do. So CIS is, like I mentioned, a local lead service. We're based in New Jersey, and we only cover this region. We cover the state of New Jersey, the state of Delaware, the 5 surrounding Philadelphia counties in Pennsylvania. We also do New York City, Long Island, and Southern New York State, which makes up 3 counties, Rockland, Orange, and Westchester. So that's what we're going to be, for our purposes actually of today, to narrow down the focus a little. We're going to be looking at the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th column. So South Jersey, Eastern PA, and Delaware. If you are on here and you're covering more of North Jersey, New York somewhere, don't worry, this will still be worthwhile to take a look to kind of get an idea of how the system works. And if you want, again, please reach out. You should have seen several emails from me. Reach out to do a one-on-one demo. Okay, so what we're going to do is give you some little history about us. So, like I said, we've been in business 32 years, started by a civil engineer who was really frustrated by the national coverage and kind of felt like no one really had a really good handle on what happens locally. He was missing mandatory pre-bids, not having time to bid a project, not knowing public bid results, and not knowing private jobs at all until he drove by and saw a lot being cleared. So that was some of his frustration of why he started this company. We have both inside and outside reporters hunting it down, which I'll get through shortly. All right, so as we log on, so my desktop is your home screen on our website. No matter where you're on the website, you can always click this top button, as these buttons down here will stay static. So these are kind of the starter reports we start everyone with. Down here, these are customized reports. So I did some already with some interior finish project words and some private projects we'll take a look at shortly. This section over here is a quick search. This is if you're looking for one thing quick, like think of this as Google, but on our website. So you can narrow it down by region. Say if we're looking in South Jersey. Then if you hover over each one of these, it'll tell you what it is. So this is looking for a project by the title, GCs and subs, material suppliers, equipment dealers, architects, engineers, insurance, anything in professional service category, and then owners. So the owner could be the township of Medford, or it could be Wawa Dairies or Bob's Liquor Store. The private owner, doesn't matter. So if I'm looking for a job, I want to type in the word pine. So anything is going to pull from a 3-year public bidding history, as well as any private work that has the word pine in it. So if I just type Pinehurst in here, you're going to see this one's going to drop to the top, just like predictive when you're doing it in Google. We'll get through the rest of these shortly. You can also look up companies in here. You can track companies, a lot of cool stuff you can do. Which leads me to down this section is where you can kind of track companies and you can track projects. This is kind of how it looks when there's updates. And then this is something we just started 3 weeks ago, real-time project information. So as projects are being updated, we're actually adding them on the site today. So as we're on a demo at 10 o'clock, we might see by the tail end of this or into the 11 o'clock hour, I might see a bid result of something that happened today, or we're updating existing projects right now. So this is really something we're super excited about, because now if you're looking for a bid result or updated information, it's happening the same day. Okay, now our daily report. This gets emailed to everyone every night, and it's also on our website. It's 1 day's worth of information. It's the brand new projects, the updates, and the previous day's bid result. There's 5 tabs at the top. The 3 outer ones, pre-planning, planning, and negotiated, are 95% of the time where you're going to find your private-owned projects. We're out to bid, and bid results are going to mostly be your public-owned projects. So I'm going to give you an example of each of these, and then we'll kind of do a more customized report based on the interior finish trades. So pre-planning is the earliest stage. It's conceptual, it's sketch plan, zoning, fundraising. And our private work, by the way, is based on new construction of commercial buildings that are 5,000 square foot and greater, and residential 10 dwelling units and larger. So that's kind of what we're made up of. And then public work is anything, local, county, state, federal, any shape or size. So in pre-planning, there's an assisted living facility that's brand new. There's also the Ocean County offshore wind farm is new. And then there's a ship conversion in Philadelphia, which sounds kind of cool. So we're going to look at that one for my own interest. So this one was published by us in March of 2020, actually. So it was right in the middle of when the world stopped. So this is probably getting revitalized now. So what you do with a private project, you can see the cost estimate of the project, the name, the location, developer, owner. Now, I always say go to the description to see if you like what it is. So it's conversion of 990 foot of 1950s era ship, 600,000 square foot of developable space into a dockside hotel with guest rooms, museum, brewery, all kinds of stuff. This looks kind of cool. So if you like what it says, then you want to move on to the planning notes. Our original notes when we tracked this was down at the very bottom. So the most recent one is at the top. So as of yesterday, the ship is facing eviction from its mooring location. It looks like a dispute over rent with the landlord. So if this is something interesting, you can track that project. It's going to go into your tracking folder. This is super early. It obviously has nowhere to even be docked at this moment, but you can know what's happening and keep an eye on it. And you can also add yourself as interested over here by clicking this button, which is what a lot of these companies have already done. And if you're unsure of where that goes, it goes to that company's profile page. You can kind of see contact names, information they do, and you can also see their bidding history on here as well. So that's pre-planning. Now, planning is the final approval before the planning board. Both pre-planning and planning do not have GCs yet. They're both looking at it. So what subs will do in this stage is they will start to go for the low-hanging fruit. Do I know the architect? Do I know the attorney? Do I know the developer? And kind of work from there. If you don't, you can kind of make some cold calls, or you can wait for the GC to get it. So in here, if we want to look, there's a new self-storage in Mount Laurel. There's a warehouse. Shocking. There's another warehouse happening anywhere around here. I know. Shocking stuff. But say, for example, we look at this Mount Laurel self-storage facility. This one's brand new today. And hopefully my internet is not going to be super slow. But we're doing fine. Okay. Published date again is today. Construction of a 3-story, 97,000 square foot storage facility with site improvements, parking, lighting, etc. This will be reviewed by the Mount Laurel Planning Board on 11/10/12. So you should see an update on this on 10/13. Basic work included. It is all new construction. Owner, developer, attorneys listed here. Again, track it. Add yourself as interested if you're interested in that. And the nice thing about the private work is we kind of comb through planning and zoning board meetings. We pick up local papers for parcels of land being bought and sold. We just do not miss stuff. So you'll never drive by and be like, what are they building here? You would have seen it long in advance. Now, negotiated is a private bid result, meaning a general contractor has been awarded, but it can be in any phase of construction. So for example, this one hasn't started. These down here in progress. This one's completed, and these two have target dates of when they expect to break ground. So if we just look at this to the Delaware folks, so they're not left out. You can see the owner developer is listed. Also, the contractor is the same. Sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's different, but you'll have a separate line for that. Again, you can see it's single family dwellings. You can see if there's a new plan and an old plan in here, what's happening. And then again, I love the history, so you can kind of see what's happened in there as well, which is kind of great. All right, now out to bid. These are the brand new public projects that just came out for bid. They're all flagged as new because they were listed in a paper or online yesterday. So we're going to kind of scan through and see if there's something that looks exciting on here. I do not see anything exciting for your categories of work. So what we will do is just look at this roof replacement, because why not? So this is just an example of first day information, how it looks when it first comes out for bid. Again, the difference with us being local, we pick up local town papers where they hide bids in, as well as get main papers delivered, check all the main websites. So again, we are very locked in to the geography we're on and knowing what's happening. So bid due date and time, design firm owner, document information, requirements, very typical of what it looks like on day one. We mirror it from the paper and put it or online and put it on our site so people have enough time. Is there a pre-bid meeting? Is it mandatory? If it was a pre-bid meeting, it would be around this section here. There is not one. If it was mandatory, it would be in bold writing saying mandatory. So that's a good one. You can track it. Now you'll see a change from new to update. So these are projects that have already been out for bid, but something's changed. Could be one guy's picked up a set of plans, could be a cost estimate, could be 100 different things. I'm going to click on this one for two reasons. One, because it's a rebid, and two, to show you the update. So we ask every time for a cost estimate. If a cost estimate is released, it's up here on the top right with the bid due date and time. Again, I can kind of scroll through here and see these are what projects look like in the updated stage. You'll see much more of a description now on the project. You can see what part of your work is in here, if it's worthwhile to do, not do. You guys look like your finishes is in this kind of section here to see if that's interesting or not for you to get involved in. And then on this one, the owner isn't releasing plan holders, but you can see we still have a pretty healthy plan holder list, which is something I really love about our service because we still have the information even if the owner isn't releasing it. There is a section up at the top where companies can add themselves as a plan holder. So coming back down, sorry, I'm going up and down, in the notes section, because this is a rebid, you can see the original bid information in the notes section. So if I click on this, it's going to bring me to this page. So I can see this project bid on the 15th of September, just last week, or 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And I can look down and see all bids were rejected with bid results. So I can see exactly who bid it the first time, everybody's numbers who bid it the first time as well. So that's kind of a nice little piece. Okay, so that is the out to bid and updates. Now bid results are the previous day's bid results. So I can see this project, BTW Enterprises was the low bidders. If I want to click on it and see how the numbers broke down, who else bid it, I can also click and see who else bid this project. And then if I want as well, I can see this building, Cape May Special Services School. If any of you bid to these guys, you know that our Maxwell was the low bidder. Same thing with Premier and this one. So again, I can kind of take a look at their numbers and everything. And if I also want to, I can track this company. So I can, if this is somebody I bid to a lot and I want to keep an eye on them, I can hit this bullseye and track the company. And I'll show you where that goes on the homepage. And I can see if they're holding plans, there'll be a holding plans tab. There's not. But I can see their low bids over the past 3 years. So the most recent low bid they've had was just this one yesterday. And I can see they also got one in September and August and all their numbers. So they've had 28 low bids over the past 3 years. Now, other bids are projects they bid where they're not the low bidder. So they're roughly 28 out of, what is that, 76? So that is like a 35%. Don't quote me on that with my math skills. Like 35% close ratio, which is really very good. And then if you're like, hey, I did this project then, but I didn't hear about it. You can see that EDW Builders was actually the low bidder on this. They were off by about $8,000. Okay, so that is the daily report. New and updated since my last view. If you missed a day, you're out sick. You can see that. Index report. This is your filing cabinet for the public bids, all listed in bid due date order, starting with the stuff bidding today. Now under here, what I created, I have 5 minutes left because I'm taking a little bit long, or actually like 7 minutes. I promise to stay within your 20-minute window. Okay, so what I did is a starter report for public work and also a private keyword report. So what I did is I took words that have to do with interior finish trades in here. They're all kind of listed over here. I can pick other words off this list, but I just did, just for our purposes of time, a quick little list over here of words that would be in the title or the description of a job you would do. So these are the ones starting with today's date. So basically what you would do on day one is start from the farthest date and kind of work your way backwards. Start at the very bottom and kind of look up through and see. There's an elementary school in, I don't know, I couldn't even try to say that name. Ocean County Justice Complex, Toms River. I can kind of go up and see Police Academy, that's a chiller. There's a salt shed in Alverson, headquarters chiller. You know, I can kind of look through and see. And as I'm in here, I can kind of scroll through and see where the project information is highlighted. So I can click here and see it'll highlight all of your words in here. So you can see how much of your project information is here. Is this profitable? Is it worth my time? Kind of look. All right. So that's how that section looks. And you can scroll through and see any of the exterior renovations or Department of Public Works in Collingswood. You're like, hey, that's something I care about. That came out on 9/6, bidding on 11/2. Still plenty of time. Pre-bid meeting isn't mandatory, but it was on 9/20. Your work in here is again highlighted, the stuff that you would, your categories of work. And there is a quantities listing in here as well. So you can kind of see a little bit more detail on the project. And then even though the owner is releasing plan holders, we have a couple plan holders already listed, which will grow as time goes closer to the bid opening. So there's 101 to kind of go through. That's, you know, it can be pared down by your geography. I'm just, again, looking in South Jersey, Eastern PA, and Delaware for interior finished trades. And then if I want to look at some of the most recent bid results, I can kind of comb through the bid results as well, see if I'm missing anything, or to say, hey, I gave such and such a number, I didn't hear anything back. You can kind of look and see who got the project and their numbers over here, or if it says multiple contracts, you just need to open it up to see, you know, alternate trades, or if any prime bids on here too, who's getting the prime bids and what have you. Okay, now coming back, this is the starter report I made. I basically went back. So private work, there's thousands of private jobs. What I did is went back with anything that's moved in the last month. So these are things that are kind of actively happening to take a look at. So pre-planning has 58 projects. Planning has 121 and negotiation is 126. So you're roughly like maybe 215, 300 projects out here just in 1 month, which is crazy. So again, negotiated has a GC, but again, it can be in any phase of construction. This is a target date. These down here are don't have target dates. You can kind of scroll through the lots going on in Philadelphia right now. And they're kind of listed in alphabetical order in here too, which is nice. So you can kind of scroll through and see some stuff in Cherry Hill and Chesterfield and kind of comb through that. Same thing with the planning. Again, final approval before the planning board. And remember, private work is a minimum of 5,000 square foot and larger of new construction and 10 dwelling units or more of residential. And that is my dog's clickety click that you hear him walking behind me. So sorry for the background noise. Anyway, you can kind of go through and take a look. There's, you know, they're actually making a studio in Atlantic City. If you haven't seen this come out yet, a couple weeks ago it came out. Taking the indoor mall and making a live entertainment and production facility. So that's kind of like a 150 television and media production, which is kind of cool. Groundbreaking was on 9/14. You can kind of look at more information. So if you want to keep an eye on that job and track it, you can add yourself as interested. I just made up LeeAnne's Construction as a name, but it would be your construction company name. Okay, now I have like 2 minutes left. Quick search. Again, trying to find one thing fast. You're just going to kind of type in company names. Like we can type in, like who are we looking at? Like Premier Builders or whatever, and kind of look at them and find them on the list and track them, right? You can do that. You can also look at categories. If I'm like, hey, I need a door contractor, you can look for subs in here and you can be found as a sub in here. So you can narrow, oops, let me do that again. I forgot to narrow down my geography. So say I'm in South Jersey and I want to find a door contractor sub. This is what our clients, GCs, will do when they're looking for subs. So there's 142 door contractors who will do work in South Jersey. Doesn't mean they're from South Jersey. They will do work in South Jersey. Now, you can sponsor this too. As a side note, it's really smart to sponsor your category work because we already have contractors using our site to find projects, and they asked us to develop this construction directory about 8 years ago. We launched it because they kept saying, we love your project information, but we don't want to have to leave for our subs and suppliers. So you can sponsor your category. To kind of show you how this looks, because there's no one sponsoring that category right now, I can see under paving contractors, there's a total of 5 sponsorships. There's only one left as a paving contractor in South Jersey. So I can see how it looks. So instead of getting to this list of huge lists, I just call somebody on the top, which is what people do. So something to consider as well with our site. And then this section is our tracking feature. I have 1 minute left, going to wrap it up. So this is where you track contractors and projects. So this is giving me an update. I'm tracking 18 companies, but the ones that have changed are letting me know this guy's placed a low bid. So if I want to go to his low bids, I can say, oh, he just got this elevator repair project, and I can see who else bid it and all the numbers on here. Once I come back, I can see that now it says I have 8 instead of 9 updates. That company is still here, but I've looked at the update. The other ones I didn't get a chance to look at, so they're still on here until I look at them. I can also put notes in here. So I can say Tom and his cell phone number, or whatever you quoted them, and put that information in here just for purposes of being, you know, what's it called? Just for, oh, I forgot to get rid of that. Let me remove. Okay. So just for keeping your notes. No one knows you're tracking them. No one sees your notes. That's a big question I get asked a lot. And then also the projects. You want to track projects that are good. So if something happens, one person picks up plans and that's the GC who wins, you want to make sure you know that. So you want to make sure you get an update. And then the approvals before the planning and zoning, they name a GC. It's a good private job. You want to know when there's a change. You want to know it's got approved, you know, all that kind of information. So this will be really important. There's a note section in here as well. So I just wanted to give you a quick wrap up. There is lastly a sub request section where contractor will put requests that they're looking for subs in here. So you can see a company that you're like, hey, you know what? I bid to this guy. Let me see what they're looking for, what kind of sub that they're looking for. So you can kind of take a look in there as well. So that's a brief overview of our service. This is just meant to say, hey, is this something interesting enough? Do I want to call LeeAnne and meet and do a demo specifically geared to my company? And hopefully you do. The demo is free, so you can take a look at it and see if this makes sense. And then I can review pricing options based on the territory that you need. And again, if you're someone from New York who's joining us today, again, we definitely would want to meet to pare it down for the New York geography as opposed to looking in the South Jersey, PA, and Delaware market. Thank you all for taking a look. I appreciate your time. And everybody have a great day. And I hope to hear from you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.